We are live. This is Travis from Carter Cow Capital, Travis on YouTube, and Expert Advisor Reviews on YouTube. Hope everybody's doing very well on this Monday morning. Sorry for being out for the last few days. Been doing a few things around the house, just being able to make sure everything is in order. If you know me, you know that I am a teacher. And at this point, we're getting close towards the end of the year, so we're trying to get ready for certification testing and everything else like that. But I hope everybody's doing very well. Let's go ahead and get through let's go ahead and get through the disclaimer, and then after that we'll go from there. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. You understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk being able to make money. Also involves risk being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative for future results, which means that if you ended up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you're going to end up making money today. So with that being said, this is episode 283. Getting close to 300, which is nice. But obviously, got to be able to put a little bit of work in today. Been out for the last few ones, so let's see how the market's going to end up reacting, and then kind of go from there. All right. So from a economic standpoint, let's take a look at it. Today's the first day of the new year. I mean, first day of the new month. First day of May. Hopefully, everybody ended up doing very good in April when it came down to the overall trading. This is right around the time where the market ends up making that last push before the summertime, where the market starts to be into consolidation. So please keep that in mind. April is typically a month where you end up having a little bit of consolidation. May in the first portion of June is typically when you end up seeing typical pushes. So I'm interested to be able to see how the market's going to end up reacting overall today, and then after that we'll kind of go from there. But we take a look at today. There's no news that's going to end up impacting the overall market as much compared to the what you're going to end up seeing with ISM manufacturing, and being able to see how that actually ends up going. Tomorrow, we're going to end up having an interest rate decision from Australia. We're going to end up having um, manufacturing PMIs from Great Britain. Um, the index of consumer prices from the Eurozone, and then after that, we're going to end up having labor costs and unemployment rate for New Zealand as well. So basically, like a non-farm payroll, kind of being able to see what's happening with the market overall. Speaking of non-farm payroll, remember last Friday was non-farm payroll overall with the market as well. Just trying to see how everything is going from there. Hey, what's going on, Peter? Hope everything's going well. Um, and kind of being able to make that move. So let's go ahead and get into the charts. Take a look at the United States dollar index. Then after that, we'll take a look at oil. Then after that, we'll take a look at gold. Kind of get a better idea about what's going on with the overall market. United States dollar has been taking a little bit of hit, but it has been actually kind of stagnant as well when it comes down to movement. What do I mean by that? We take a look at it from a weekly standpoint. We see that this magenta trend line, I know I got a lot of stuff on this chart, but the magenta trend line is still being respected, which means that we still have a uptrend overall when it comes down to this market. Currently, the market is right below 12,008 right below 12,830. On a weekly standpoint, the weekly is actually in the buy zone, which means that we're talking about the next few months over the summertime. We should see, or there should be an expectation that the market could start being given a move back up to the upside. Typically, it's 7 to 11 candles, so you're talking about 7 to 11 weeks. That's talking about 2 months overall, 2 to 3 months overall when it comes down to being able to have a retracement move back up to the upside. But the United States dollar as a whole, and the United States as a whole has to figure out what's going on because they're losing a little bit of footing when it comes down to that movement. Now, with that also being said, let's take a look at it from a daily perspective because we can see that this market's kind of loading up to be able to make a big move in whatever direction that it may be. Last week, we ended up having a chance of being able to see this market kind of break out, and then after that, kind of settle back. Going into this week, we can see that this market's kind of still kind of contained from that 12,883 number or 833 number with a natural support right around 12,770. So we go into a 2 hour and kind of get a little bit more information. The market is still kind of contained inside of there. Tried to break the first time, which means that we can adjust this consolidation to these two tops right here, 12,856. That is our new resistance. We're basically in the middle of this. We're basically in the middle of this consolidation. So we're talking about a 33% chance of being able to make any type of move right now. I would say I wouldn't make any move unless the market ends up falling below 12,760 are breaking above 12,850 at this particular point. So I'm going to sit on my hands and see what's happening with the United States dollar, but that kind of matches up with what's happening overall from an economic standpoint. It's really nothing that's going to end up making the market move, make the market move as fast as it's moving right now. And remember, coming out of April, typically the end of April is right around the time where the market kind of consolidates. So that makes a little bit of sense. So just going to wait until the middle of the day when the market really starts to open and be able to make a decision on that. Last week, we talked about oil, and um, we end up kind of describing it into two different things. Remember, I haven't traded oil all that much this year. The only time that I really traded oil was when it ended up hitting resistance or support, or looking for the breakout of resistance or support. So we really haven't had that many trades. And for the people that did take the trade when the market got up to 82.50, looking at being able to sell it back down to the halfway point, which would be right around $67, I mean $76. If you end up making that trade, congratulations, you end up basically fulfilling that overall move. Currently, the market right now is in the middle of consolidation. That's been there since 2021, where the support is at $70 per barrel and the resistance is at 82.50. Currently, the market is at $75 a barrel. Once again, nothing to be able to do that. Casey, what's going on, big dog? Hope everything's going well with you. Yeah, nothing to be able to do right there, unfortunately, with the market being in consolidation at that point. I'm looking at almost at this point um, being able to create a expert advisor that just trades solely um, a grid style inside of consolidation, because we're just getting to that point to where if you don't have it now, for the people that love being able to trade trending modes, we haven't seen it all that much, at least not for this pair. If we get into U.S. Chinese yuan and stuff like that, you may end up seeing it. And this will be the first time that we start talking about Chinese pairs and get into those a little bit more, because I think the market is starting to have a little bit more of a dominance over in that area. So we'll take a look at that as well as we take a look at everything else. Gold. Gold at this point um, went through consolidation. The top of resistance off of this one. Let's go to the weekly. I'm just going to kind of explain it from there. The the breakout of this move has been, or the resistance of this move for the last 3 years has been at 2070. Market ended up pushing up to 2050 a couple weeks ago, but the three times that it's happened has been where um, has been right here, right when the pandemic, right in the middle of the pandemic, right here when the market ended up, right here when the when Russia ended up invading Ukraine, and then obviously we ended up having it a couple weeks ago when it came down to this move, and it got all the way up there. Pound yen long entry 171 with a stop loss of 47, with a price target 2 to 1. I'll take a look at that. Um, and being able to have that market in the inside. So from a trading perspective, gold is not necessarily being, for me personally, gold has not necessarily been the most lucrative position. Same thing with oil. I haven't necessarily took a lot of trades on this actual pair, and I need to start trying to find some more, because obviously we want to be able to make money off of this summer push that's about to happen. Um, let's see. Da, 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 da. So this is what we know. We know the United States dollar index is in consolidation, which means that any other pair that has a little bit of consolidation, that has a tie with the United States dollar, is probably going to end up having consolidation as well. That's what's happening with gold. We can see that the resistance is at 2015 or somewhere around 2015. Um, and the natural support, let's see, what's the support price? Let's see what's happening with this one. Um, Support price is right around 1975. Let's see. So same deal, right in the middle of consolidation. I'm not going to suggest anything. We had a trade that we ended up taking a look at a while ago, but it never triggered. So we'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to get off of this one. Take a look at Bitcoin real quick, and then after that, I start taking a look at y'all here. Let's see if we can breeze through those real quick. Um, Bitcoin, we ended up talking about that large rally that we could have seen from 25 to 29 that ended up happening and already fulfilling. Got up to 30,000 from there. Tried to break past it twice and then rejected back inside this overall area. So just trying to get some value at this point now. Would like to be able to see that the market falls down a little bit. Hopefully, there'll be something that could make the market fall down. But that also means that if the market does fall down, the United States dollar has to gain a little bit of strength. So there's no at this point, there's no catalyst to be able to make the market move. But United States dollar pairs look like they're just off the table. To me, it has a feel that they look like they're just off the table and being able to find a fast move to be able to get something out of it. So let's go pound yen real quick and we'll take a look at that. Um, it's been a while since we took a look at pound yen. Fix my charts up real quick. I think I got a better pound yen chart. Oh, okay. I remember now. Okay. Okay, so the last time I talked about this one, I ended up describing this consolidation between 168 and 156. Market ended up breaking out of that consolidation after hitting 156 early in February, and has popped up to the upside. So the market is bullish. You on a long entry, you're saying 171 with a stop loss of 160 with a price target of 172. I think they're kind of in line when it comes down to that movement. Um, we have a D extension that's out there that's at 186. You're saying 171.12. Let's take a look at that real quick. Take profit would be 171.12. Okay, well that's already been hit. Congratulations. Oh, never mind. That's stupid. Take profit is at 172. This should be magenta. It'd be kind of weird that you would show me a trade that's already done close. Sorry about that, Casey. I see 172 and a should be green with a stop loss of 170.58. Okay. From a weekly perspective, we know that the market is bullish. From a daily perspective, we look at it, we know we can say that the market is bullish. Last week, we ended up having a big run. And I'm seeing that sellers have started to take it off the top. Now, the reason why it looks like that is because that going back into early, I'm guessing going back into early October, we've seen that this market really started to be able to make that push and kind of fail out right there. So it looks like somewhat of a double top. Hopefully, it doesn't remain to be that way in your case when it comes down to movement. But um, if you got in a little bit earlier today or got in a little bit earlier yesterday, you've seen a little bit of profit at the beginning of the day. And currently, right now, what's happening is that the market is making a little bit of a U-turn. Now, with that being said, let's just talk about the U-turn in general. The 2 hour is in the sell zone, which means that we should look at about a day and a half of movement um, going in the opposite direction of where you're trading at. So, uh, one thing to be able to keep in mind. Let's see if I can find the right field to be able to work off of. Let's try this one. Okay. Every D extension has been hit. Casey, what you're probably going to end up running into, at least for right now, is that the last 2 hour D extension was at 169.35. And then after that, the market ended up having a big push up to 172. Um, because of that, I think that you're probably seeing less momentum of people looking at being able to get back in right now because the market hasn't retraced enough. So there could be a stop. There could be a situation where the market could retrace all the way down, take you out, and then pop back up and then pop back in, or it can kind of be able to hold support what's happening, kind of like what's happening off of this 15-minute timer, where we've seen a little bit of support be created right here. Now, my simple question that I would ask myself is, stop that, stop that. Is the support only being made because it was the weekend? That's my simple question. Other than that, as long as the market kind of holds this as past resistance turn future support and there's a counter trend line break to the upside and remains to stay that way, Casey, then I think that you may be in a good position. But keep in mind, 2 hours in the sell zone, so you may end up encountering a few people start looking at being able to sell. But early on, early signs, um, obviously you're in profit. Me personally, would I take this trade right now? If it was me, um, I would limp in with 1%, but I wouldn't go in anymore. I'll probably, but not even 1%. I'll probably go with a half a percentage off of this one. That's just me personally. But you're typically spot on with what you end up picking. So good luck to you. Um, let's see, U.S. yen. Kind of went through U.S. yen already by taking a look at what's happening with gold. Um, but we'll go through that because I want to see what's happening with the Chinese yuan as well. So last time we ended up taking a look at this one from a weekly perspective, we talked about this channel that was happening inside of this consolidation. Resistance was at 138, support was at 127. Market has been pushing up towards the resistance and it's holding above this overall purple trend line, which kind of matches up with the same purple trend line that we ended up taking a look at from the United States dollar index. Take a look at it from a daily perspective, we can see that the market ended up having a very big move based off of non-farm payroll, and then after that, start pushing back up to the upside. Hasn't broke through the resistance yet, but it's still inside of a push when it comes down to that movement. It almost broke the A, didn't close below the A, which means that the new D extension is going to be at 138.40. So if the market does break, I do expect that it's going to end up going up to 138.40 as a upside move. Take a look at this from a 2 hour perspective. We can see that this is the top of that channel. I can adjust it just a little bit. It went through this channel and hit a couple times before ultimately popping up. There goes support. Here goes support right here. Let's do this over again. Yep, support. Ooh, let's try that one more time. What just happened? Put that back. Right there. Why is that snapping like that? Okay, cool. Hand over your mouth. Hand over your mouth. All right. So we got here, here. Got another support here and here. Um, it's tried to break out of resistance. Remember, if this market holds up and turns that past resistance into a new support, then we should see that continuation of a movement. Kind of going into what I end up saying with what's happening with gold. And same thing what's happening with the United States dollar index. I think that the market's probably going to fall a little bit first before being able to make a retracement back up to the upside. So I wouldn't look at being able to jump in as of yet, but I do expect that something is probably going to end up happening that the market may end up moving back to at least a halfway point, and then after that being able to make a move. Currently, right now, I would not do anything with US yen. US CAD, US CAD, we looked at that with US oil. Once again, probably should see nothing more than consolidation. Oil prices have not been moving as much, and Canadian dollars um, kind of real big on that production. So, been in consolidation. I haven't been trading U.S. oil, which means that I'm not going to end up trading that much of U.S. Canadian dollar. We can see that the consolidation from 140 all the way down to 132. We're basically in the middle of it. Nothing to be able to do off of this move, at least for me. I'm talking about me in this case. In the middle of this consolidation area, you're talking about a 33% chance of being able to win. There's nothing there. Okay, just being honest. There's no reason to kind of touch through that and kind of go from there. Swish in. Swish in end up breaking out of consolidation as we end up talking about how uh, kind of end up bringing that back up. What happened with pound yen? Pound yen ended up breaking out of consolidation as well. We got a push where the D extension is all the way up at 160. I'm sorry, where the D extension is at 154. Currently, the market's at 153.70. This may be a scalping opportunity to the upside that I think that I may be interested in being able to take. Let's take a look at it from a 2 hour perspective. Um, so keep in mind, daily D extension off of this one because it fell all the way down to the 86th position is at 154. It's at 154. Okay, so here goes your D extension right there. You got a price target of 156 off of this one. 156 is entry at 152. Pretty good entry. Stop, baby. Stop, baby.
I'm right here.
I know. Back up.
You see me?
Not on camera. No. Back up, baby. Stop loss. Let's see. Okay, stop loss is one. Stop loss is at 150.
Oh no.
57.
And then when it's on the tablets,
From a 15-minute perspective, here goes your fields for this one. Let's see. Actually, it broke a field and didn't start making a move until right here. Right. Okay, so here goes the current field right there. Market only retraced, did not even make a huge retracement. There was an 80-20 rule that ended up happening. That's where the rejection came back off. It kind of relayed back up to the B. This is a buy. This is nothing more than a scalping buy. At this particular point, good movement for us being able to get inside. Do I think it'll hit 156? I think it'll hit 156 eventually. There's a 15-minute D extension at 153.65. Remember, I ended up saying 154 was probably the better move based off the daily D extension. Currently, right now, um, the market is in a little bit of consolidation, but um, you get a continuation movement. I wouldn't be mad at taking this trade. Me personally, I definitely wouldn't be mad at taking a trade. There goes a breakout right there. Here goes another breakout right here. Um, I'm gonna keep that one in mind. I like this trade. I really do. I would get out a little bit earlier, but I do like the trade. Okay, let's take a look at go to trading view. Let's take a look at US 30, and then after that NAS 100, then we get out of here. I went through a few different charts today. See on super charts. What the heck is super charts? Last week didn't do much manual trading. I think I already expressed that. Um, but let's talk about what happened with US 30. US 30 fell all the way down to 31,445, and then after that started being able to pop back up to the stayed above consolidation, but is inside of a large consolidation sale with the breakout at that 34.4. And obviously, with the United States dollar index being weak, then typically with the United States dollar being weak, then the index starts to get a little bit stronger. That's the reason why we're seeing that little bit of a push last week. Uh, Now, diving into this move a little bit more and kind of being able to see what's happening inside of this channel, the market made a consolidation. Um, we end up making I think we ended up making a trade. What was it, 2 weeks ago or early during April? Um, where the market ended up breaking out above 36, 33,600. Tried to be able to take that all the way up to 34,250. Um, Market went into consolidation. Then after that, broke to the downside and kind of found support right back at this overall number, which makes so much sense. Bless you, son. Bless you. Um, but from finding that support, it ended up popping all the way back up to the overall resistance of where the market actually is right now. Market is kind of trending, and once again, going back to what we're talking about with the United States dollar index, I think that we're kind of in line to be able to see the United States dollar index have a little bit of a push to the upside. If it has a push to the upside, then US 30 is going to fall. So if it does fall, I think that it may end up falling back down to at least this support area right here. At the most, probably right here, before being able to pop back up and then trying to attack back up to 34,400. So no move right now at the beginning of the morning, but there will be a move that could possibly show up once we end up having a little bit of retracement. That'll be the move that I'm be interested in. Okay, Nas 100, last one today. What's going on, Block? Sorry for seeing your message so late. I had to pull down the screen. Uh, we end up having a trade on Nas 100 where the breakout was at 13,170. If you end up taking that trade, you're in profit currently right now. The market ended up getting all the way up to 13,000, almost 13,300. The market's starting to try to reverse a little bit, so it may give people a chance to be able to get into it. But the reason why we took this trade was because that there's a D extension that's out there to the upside at 13,940, and we're basically back inside of a little pocket area where the market could have popped back up to at least that resistance right there, which was when the market right when we end up having when was this? This was Jerome Powell ended up speaking when we ended up having a FOMC meeting minutes pushed up and then the market fell down in that area the last time we took a look at it from that area. So um, that's where we're at right now. I like the Nas 100 trade better than anything else that I've seen at this particular point. But I will look for a retracement to see if I can be able to get back in. For the people that are not in yet, I would pay attention to what's happening off the 1 hour, what's happening off the 15 minute. See if you can get a little bit of a retracement, and then after that, counter trend line break back up to the upside. But that is the play that I'll be looking at today. Yeah, you like what I end up doing? Please make sure that you end up um, clicking on that boost button. I really do appreciate it. Obviously, we're getting close to that summer push, which means that y'all gonna see my face a lot more, and we can start being able to talk about it a lot more when it comes down to movements. Um, that includes everything else that we're doing on our other social media pages and trying to get everything else situated with that. You'll be able to see me a little bit more when it comes down to that as well. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all in tomorrow's video at 6:30 in the morning. Then after that, we'll go from there. Everybody, take it easy.